Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my sweet, sweet babies. Happy birthday to all the August 27th babies out there. We're gonna pull a card for the next 24 hours. I'm labeling this video for August 27th because I'm posting it in time for August 27th where I am in the world. But depending on where you are in the world, 27th may have already come and gone. You might stumble upon the video in a few weeks, few months, few years. You're gonna find it whenever you're meant to hear the message. So it's just gonna be here for the next 24 hours whenever you see this. What is coming up here for our darling collective? Justice. Dude, we've got all these major arcana cards coming up lately. I'm like a broken record repeating myself, but I must say it. Major arcana card energy is going to be energy that's around for a while. Even though I'm setting the intention here for a 24-hour period of time, whatever is happening in the next 24 hours is going to be like setting some things into motion, coming into a defining time in your life, coming into a significant new chapter in your life, right? These are going to be times that you're going to remember, or that are very formative in shaping your life and maybe even shaping yourself. Now, this is Libra energy. Some of you could be dealing with a Libra that may be very significant in your life, or somebody with a Libra placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. If you have a Libra placement, there could be big changes or big shifts happening for you in those houses or in those areas of your life. And also, if you are a Libra, this could be a time that you're really coming into your power, that you're really coming into your authentic self and living your best life unapologetically, right? Like falling in love with yourself in a healthy, non-narcissistic kind of way, taking control of your life. Could be a very empowering time for you as a Libra, or you may be coming into a very empowering time. Justice card is about weighing the head and the heart, right? A lot of us are having to make big decisions right now. The world is changing, the economy is changing, lots of people are relocating. There's a lot happening with the astral energy, astrologically, a lot of shaking, a lot of moving, a lot of transition. And so a lot of people are finding themselves at a crossroad right now. And it's like you might be feeling frustrated, like you're like, I don't know what to do. Every time I listen to my heart, I get burned. Every time I listen to my head, I'm bored to tears, and it's absolutely soul crushing. Like, I can't win. And the Justice card reminds us to balance these two things, to bring them together. It's not one or the other, it's both, and to bring them together in harmony, right? You're following your heart, but you're also listening to your mind. You're doing it in a logical way. There's the saying that goes, follow your heart, but take your mind with you, right? It also, I don't know why. I don't know which sermon it was, but it's in the Bible. I don't think it was from the Sermon on the Mount. I think it was one of the sermons when like somebody came up and asked questions to Jesus. But there was the example of like, building a tower. Like the wise man may like dream of this, amazing tower, and he wants to build this tower as his legacy, but he's gonna stop and he's gonna calculate the cost. He's gonna figure out, what do I need to do to make this happen? What's it gonna cost me? How long is it gonna take? What do I have to figure out? Who do I have to hire? Who do I have to consult? Like, he figures all of that out before he sets out to do it. So it's listening to your heart, but you're gonna also do the calculations. How can I set myself up for success? What am I gonna need? What are the steps that I have to take? Right? So it's bringing the two together. Sometimes this is a card that can come up with boundaries, like standing up for ourselves. So we may find ourselves in a situation where we're having to stand up for ourselves, or we're having to speak out. And like stand up for ourselves, and within the laws and within the system, like making sure that our rights are being upheld. So if you do feel like you're in a situation where you're like, this is really unfair, like I'm really getting picked on, or like it's not okay that they're doing this, and what have I done to deserve this, or why am I calling this into my life, why is this in my reality? It's not that you're a low vibrational person, it's not even that you don't love yourself. It's just that, because sometimes we hear that a lot, right? I know a lot of you get readings, and the thing is like, oh, when you love yourself, then all this bad stuff will stop happening. Oh, when you love yourself, you'll find the right person. It's not that you don't love yourself. Of course you love yourself. Of course you know you don't deserve to be treated that way. But sometimes it happens because you need to learn to work within the laws and the things that are there to protect you, to stand up, to speak up, to say, hey, this isn't okay. So some of you may be in a situation where it would be wise for you to consult legal counsel and to just kind of say, hey, this is what's going on at work, or this is what's going on with my landlord. Like, what are my rights? What can I do? And there could be a lesson here in you standing up for yourself or defending yourself, and seeing that your rights are being withheld within a legal setting. Now, I have to say this, right? Traditionally, this could be that some court ruling is being ruled favorably and fair and in your favor. And that being said, this is a traditional meaning of the card. I do not do legal readings. Please, please, please do not schedule a reading with me about a court case. So I think sometimes people think that because they've paid me, I'm not going to want to refund the money, and then like I'll do it. And that's not the case. I will ask you, hey, do you want to ask something else, or do you want me to refund your money? Because I'm not going to read on court cases. Traditionally, though, this is one of the meanings of the card. I'm sure there's lots of other readers out there that'll read on court cases. I will not read on court cases. With the Justice card here, as I said, balancing the head and the heart, standing up for yourself. There could also be something very significant happening for you within Libra season, or something maybe coming to completion. Maybe you're working on something and you're like, how much longer, or is it going to come together? There could be something coming into something significant coming into completion for some of you in Libra season, which is not that far away at all. Okay, we're pretty close to it. It'll be here before we know it. It's nipping at our heels. I would strongly suggest, though, like if you don't know your moon, your rising, or your Venus, I would strongly suggest finding that out. You can find out for free. There's a lot of free sites. Cafe Astrology is one of them. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't get any kind of cut by mentioning them, but that is a site that you can just put in your date of birth, where you were born, the city, state, country, and the time you were born, and it'll tell you what your rising and your Venus and your moon and all that. You can figure all that if you don't know what your moon, rising, and Venus are. Or we can even get more complex, right? We can talk about all the other houses, but I strongly feel that for a lot of you, if you have Libra placements, there's going to be a really big change or really big shift in that area of your life. Because as I'm standing here, I'm sitting here, I'm not standing, but as I'm sitting here doing this reading and looking at this card and things that have been coming to me personally through meditation and through prayer, I'm Libra rising, and so for me a lot of that is about the work that I'm doing here on YouTube, and a lot of things that have been coming in that I keep getting pushed to kind of expand on the channel and expand in my work and connect with you guys in a deeper kind of way. And I've been hesitant, and I will admit I've been procrastinating, but that is something that keeps coming in, that I keep getting pushed. So having the Libra rising and having the messages I feel coming in from God, from universe, from my angels and guides, that makes me feel very strongly that if you have a Libra placement, there could be big changes or big shifts happening for you in those houses or in those areas of your life. So if you don't know what your placements are, I recommended Cafe Astrology. I know there's a lot of other sites too. Some maybe are easier to use, but that's the one that's coming up at the top of my head. I don't do too much of the astrology sites, so I don't know too much about them. But you can find out for free. You don't have to pay somebody money to figure out what your placements are. Anything else around this card for my dears and my darlings? Some of you may be feeling really picked on, right? Really picked on, or something is very unfair. But I feel like the message here is that the tide is going to turn in your favor. Like things are going to come around. Some things that you feel you're being kept from, or you're not being given, or like it's being kept from you, you may find out here in the not so distant future, like fairly soon, that you've been protected. You've been protected from something that isn't what you thought it was. Okay? And I don't feel this is necessarily around people or like romantic relationships or friendships. I feel this more in terms of like work opportunities or positions within organizations. Like you may feel like you're getting passed up, or you may feel like you're not being included, and something may come to light where you're like, oh wow, well no wonder, right? Like I'm not corrupt like that, or I'm not gonna do something fishy like that. Like no wonder they were passing me up, or no wonder they weren't including me. But that being said, there may be consequences befalling these people, and then so you're like, oh gosh, well I'm glad I'm not gonna get blamed for that, or I'm glad that I'm not in a position where I would be held accountable. So there could be something here where it's revealed to you that things are not what they seem, and people who are doing shady stuff, or people who are doing things that aren't on the up and up, like they're gonna be held accountable. So I feel this for some of you, right? I feel this for some of you. Again, not to get all biblical, but I can't help it. I am a preacher's daughter. I know it seems like kind of a contradiction, but like in the Psalms, when David was writing about how all his enemies were after him, and how he was just in such a terrible state in his life, and he was just kind of like lamenting, like, how long am I gonna suffer? How long am I gonna be in this situation? Like, I'm suffering and my enemies are living a great life, and they're like taunting me, and they're torturing me, and they're chasing after me. Like, when is this gonna end, right? And so there was this whole thing of like praying for deliverance. And I kind of feel that vibe here from the Justice card for some of you. You may feel like like bad people are prospering and you're suffering. One more message. Oh gosh, I haven't said this in a long time, but it's coming up here. Sometimes we get discouraged when we see people that we see as bad prospering, and we may be like, well, I'm a good person, I'm honest, I don't hurt anybody, I'm not a bad person, I pray, I try to do good to other people, and here I am suffering, here I am scraping to get by, and all of these wicked people, or all of these heartless people, are living it up, and they're all successful, and they all have all of these blessings coming down on them. Like, how come I'm suffering and they're doing so amazing? This is kind of like a side note. The difference between these two extremes is this: sometimes as good people, or we're taught that to be a good person, like, we have to be humble, we have to not think a lot of ourselves, we have to sacrifice, we have to put others first, and so we kind of grow up with this mentality of like we need to know our place, we need to be humble, and we can't think a lot of ourselves. And there's a disconnect there, because it's like then we don't give ourselves credit. We don't pat ourselves on the back. We don't celebrate our victories or our accomplishments, because we're like, no, I need to be humble, because we misunderstand what it means to be humble. You can have a really high self-esteem. You can be a very confident person. You can celebrate your accomplishments. You can feel, entitled in a healthy way, not in a negative way, and still be a humble person. The difference between the good person who's scraping by and hardly has enough, and the terrible, awful, selfish, hateful, soulless person who's living it up, is the person who's living it up believes they deserve it. They deserve it and more, right? It's like, I'm wonderful, I'm great, I deserve all this, right? And then the good person is like, I gotta be humble. No, I'm not gonna, pump myself up, or no, it's okay. Others first. So a lot of it is a difference in mindset. You don't have to be a dishonest person to get ahead. You don't have to be a dishonest person to have an abundance of money come into your life. You just need to know that you deserve it, and that you're worth it, and that, you're entitled to it just as much as anybody else. That's a lot of the times the disconnect, or the difference between the awful person who's getting ahead and the good person who's just scraping by. So I just want to share that. But some of you may be feeling this way, like, I just see the wicked prospering and here I am suffering. It's coming around, my darlings. It's coming around. And there's things I won't say, because YouTube's already trying to bury me. I'm already getting killed in the algorithm. But you all know. You who know, you know what I'm talking about, okay? That's, I'll leave it there. If you haven't checked out your weekly forecast, I know the week is over, but you can check out the weekly forecasts if you haven't already, and see if it lines up with the week you had. But the weekly forecast for the coming week, they're just pending the approval. They're pending the background checks, and so I'll be releasing them as they get cleared. So you'll be seeing them pop up over the weekend. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I hope you all have a fabulous day ahead, fabulous weekend. If you want to schedule a private reading with me, calendly.com/amethystangelite. And I will be on Saturday evening, 6:30 p.m., August 27th, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. I will be doing 1 card pulls, okay? I'll be doing live readings. So I think I can keep up. I think my head is okay enough to where I can keep up with the fast pace of the questions that come in. Again, for those of you who are joining the live reading, there is 0 requirement, 0 obligation to do super chat or to send donations. Of course, I appreciate it when you do, but please don't feel like you have to wave money in my face for me to notice you or answer your question. If you feel moved to give and you can, thank you, I appreciate it. But please don't feel obligated. And so I look forward to pulling cards for you all Saturday evening. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. See you in the live reading. See you in the daily card. See you in the weeklies. And thank you for being here. I love you guys. Bye.